Alrighty, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Let's go ahead and take a look at yesterday, which was quite an interesting market. I think maybe the best way to illustrate what happened yesterday was to just look at it from like an hourly perspective. And you can see all through the overnight here. Let me actually bring this in here. All through the overnight, we've just been trading inside of yesterday's chop fest, right? But look, let's take a look at from the close of yesterday. And the open was basically right here. So the market, just went up, down, and basically didn't go anywhere, right? Now, despite the fact that the market was extremely choppy and very two-sided, where we're just kind of pushing nicely for 10, 20 points one way and 10, 20, 30 points the other, and just kind of doing that all day. There were some really good opportunities. You can even see we found a lot of support off that roadmap level at around 25, half, and then came down right into the next roadmap level just from the zoomed out perspective. And then you can see at the end of the day, they came right to that roadmap level and pull back. So let's go zoom in to the details here and take a look at what happened. Again, some really good methodical trading yesterday. No good trend one way or the other, but when you get 20, 30, 40 point pushes one way and the other, there's a lot of room to make good money. So it was a good day for me. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here. So again, here, try to zoom out as much as I can, and you can just see push up, push down, push up, push down, just kind of all over the place, right? Now, despite all that choppiness, there were some unbelievable opportunities yesterday to make a whole crap load of money. Pretty much anytime you came into the market. On the open here, that's our vertical line. You can see the tag right out of the open off the VWAP there. If you grab that, you got the first sell-off of the day with never getting any heat, right? Again, I don't know if I would have been taking that trade. It's not like there was a setup there. But right here, beautiful opportunity to go ahead and get short off the test of the VWAP and our roadmap level here. If you had a short at 50 half, you shouldn't have taken on more than about 5 or 6 ticks, 7 ticks of heat. And you should have been able to ride it right to our first expected support where they got the bounce. So there was a great short opportunity off our first roadmap level of the day, ignoring that little kiss of the VWAP, and then pull back and then bounced basically to the tick for a good, I guess, long if you wanted to try it, right to the 200 again where you could have took profit and then went the opposite direction and caught it back down, right? So there's that. Now, this setup here, I think, is what I was really liking, is as we were failing. Now, yeah, you could have shorted the back end of the 200, probably took on only a point and a half of risk and made some money. But this right here, when they came up and they basically made this double top, and we got all this divergence here and divergence from the last major swing, that right there was a really good setup, in my opinion. And again, got a beautiful trade right down to 38. So what is that, like 7, 8 points? And then it even tried to push lower and bounced, unfortunately, 2 ticks in front of our next roadmap level. But then they came right back to the scene of the crime from earlier. And then this was even sexier when we got this big bearish divergence off the roadmap level with the VWAP. And then you got big sell-off. So good opportunity there. And I could pretty much just sit here and do this all day. There's the tag of the back end of the 200 as we're failing. Another low-risk opportunity for a decent trade. Then they come right back to the roadmap level again, and then they start to kind of probably stop hunting a little bit, come up and get some of the people who have stops up above this level. And then they brought it right down to where everybody wanted it to go, right? And on the sell-off, they bounced to the tick off the next roadmap level. So you had an opportunity to fade and then an opportunity to buy and get a beautiful bounce. You even on the way down here, if you look at all the detail of these rotations, there were scalp long opportunities off this level. There were scalp short opportunities off the level. So just crazy stuff. So we get to the low of the morning and it's to the tick off our next roadmap level for the next major bounce of the day. So on the bounce back up, again, fails off the back end of the roadmap level Fortunately, didn't come into the 200 and fail, but they were changing phase here and starting to become a short time frame bullish trend. So we came through. Then they held it on the pullback nearly to the tick for the breakout. But again, notice on the way up, there's our roadmap level to the tick again for a double top and a failure to bounce off the same roadmap level that happened earlier in the morning. So we kind of had almost the same trade happen over and over again, which made it harder to trade this level the more times that they came up and tested it, but that's neither here nor there. Then you can see, I mean, it stepped up quite literally each roadmap level to the freaking tick. There, previous daily low, support and resistance, gets through the VWAP, holds that, comes all the way up, and then we fail, well, you know, 3 ticks in front of our roadmap level to go ahead and begin the bearish short-term trend. And on the way down, we then get nice holds off the back end of the VWAP, back end of the fast moving average. This actually, no, I'll stop that right there. The FOMC had not come out yet. But really, really good opportunities to fade off the back end. I've already explained these setups and all the other reviews we do every morning. Bearish divergence, the back end of the fast moving average in a pretty strong moving market, gives you some of the best trade setups in those moves. Then they get down through the roadmap level, and what do you know? They hold it for the pullback, for 2 pullbacks off of it, so actionable trades there. Then they get above it, and they hold it nearly to the tick for the next bullish run. And where do we bounce? About 3 ticks away from our roadmap level. So again, starts the stair step back up, right? And we get this kind of Pong type of thing, kind of using our levels. There's the fast moving average the whole way up. They get through the VWAP here. There was a little bit of trouble right at that roadmap level. That was trouble all morning, but they get through and then fail off the next roadmap level here, only to pull back and then hold the next roadmap level area for the bounce. Notice the rotation right there off VWAP. Great opportunity there to get short with bearish divergence. Unfortunately, only gave you the trade right to the roadmap level for just under 10 points. And then we come up again, fail off the roadmap level, pull back, hold the VWAP, and come up for the high of the day, I want to say, right off our roadmap level. So if you were here on the last hour or two of the market and you saw us coming all the way up into the roadmap level, and you should have seen all this bearish divergence off that high, it was a good low risk opportunity. Again, less than 2 points of risk, and you captured the whole sell-off going into the end of the day, right? This is right around the news. The FOMC minutes were dropped, and then we got kind of a pullback again. And I think that's what I was thinking of, was this pullback at the end of the day where, again, you had nearly perfect opportunities to get in as we're selling off right off the back end of the roadmap level with bearish divergence off the fast moving average as well, right? So these things are just happening all the time. And at the end of the day, let's just kind of zoom out and take a look here. What do you know? 50% of the previous day becomes a real MUV here for a while. Bearish divergence tagging the back end of the 200, 50% of the previous week and the previous daily close for another beautiful short opportunity there, a little less than 10 points. There's another with a big bearish divergence for over 10 points to the downside, right into VWAP, where again, interestingly enough, the bulls find support. And as the day kind of petered out here, you can see they came back up, held the FMA the whole way up, failed off of 59, 59.75 or 60, whatever that is, to the tick, got through it, held it to the back end again, and then got a little wishy-washy there in those last couple extended trading hour minutes there, only to pull back and bounce off the 200 and hold the back end of the FMA with a bearish divergence for the last pullback of the day, which ended up coming down right to another potential trade with 0 risk that gave you another almost 10 points back up at the end of the day, only to fail to the tick off of the fast moving average. So, I mean, this is a day where the market had absolutely no rhyme or reason, up and down, and we're still finding nearly perfect rotations to the tick off of the roadmap levels. Does it work every time? No, that's what makes trading hard. But I have narrowed down areas in the chart where I know my risk is limited if it's going to work, and it could end up turning into a 30-point bounce, right? So that concludes the review for yesterday. And now, like I said earlier at the beginning here, we are now in the overnight session coming into the open, and we're still trading right inside of all of this chop from yesterday, right? The market never, it started to look like we were going to actually break lows and go down to the lows of the last couple of weeks. Then it came back up, almost looked like we were going to get back through 50% of last week and become maybe a bullish market. They even bounced to the tick off of it there for another trade if you wanted, but then failed all the way back down. Then it looked like we were going to break the lows, which we did, the low of the day before, the low of this session, of that session, and then broke to lower lows and held the push right into our roadmap level. So it started to look like this is the beginning of a big sell-off, and then bam, brought it right back up again, right? And then failed and pulled back below 50% of the previous week and meandered around there. So it was just a total mess. And now here we are in the overnight session. Again, some really notable rotations around these roadmap levels, sometimes to the tick, but overall a very choppy, indecisive market, right? And if we zoom back out to that 60-minute chart and take a look, we are kind of stuck in no man's land here. I probably don't want to be making any big trades between about 59.30 and 59.60 here. It's just a total chop fest. So might get some scalps, might get in on some great little rotations in here, but the expectation for a bigger follow through is not there till we can get outside of that range. So let's go up to the higher time frames, see what they have to say for this morning.